Good afternoon. Welcome to week 6 of the Happy Hearts program. I hope you are having an incredible week. Today is all about emotions, and emotional set points, we call them. And why emotions are so very powerful is because think about how you feel and how you behave in life. When we feel angry and we act from anger, what kind of outcomes do we get? When we are frustrated and we act from frustration, what kind of outcomes do we get? Emotional intelligence is so important, especially when we're dealing with our children and our partners and our families, our workplaces. Emotions are powerful, but emotions are also skills. It's like anything in life. The more you work on it, the better you get. And I think there's always times in life when we believe that we could have dealt with something better, or we could have said something different and could have got a better outcome if we responded, not reacted. And this week is all about that, which is how are we reacting when we could be responding. And there is no perfect parenting book, and we're all going to make mistakes along the way, and we're all going to get it wrong, of course, but we should be aiming to make choices towards the parents we want to be, towards the partner we want to be, towards the person we want to be. And we should be looking at making these choices more often than making choices away. And fundamental choices we still have. So there's two things I always say to people that you can't take back: the words that come out your mouth and the things that you do. So you have to get better at the things that come out your mouth, and you have to get better at the things that you do. And we can't blame other people. We can't put the responsibility on other people. We are fundamentally responsible for the things that we say and do, even when we're in an emotional state. So we have to learn how to manage it, because at times, think about when you were growing up, or when someone has said something hurtful to you that you've stewed on, or hurt your feelings, or you're upset by, and then you constantly played it over and over in your head. How we allow our children to understand emotional literacy is so very important, but how we understand how we respond because of our emotions is critical. And emotions with stories create decisions. So the emotions that we feel and the stories that we tell are a representation of the choices that we make. So for instance, I'm lonely, I feel lonely, and my story is no one likes me. I wonder what kind of choices that you make. You maybe feel unappreciated. I feel unappreciated at my job. I don't think my work colleagues think I'm doing a great job. I wonder the kind of choices that you make. I'm feeling unloved in my relationship. My story is, I'm not sure if my partner is still attracted to me. I wonder what kind of choices that you make. Everything in life comes from how we feel, the story that we tell, and the choices that we make. We need to get better at making better choices. And I'm not saying that you're not making great ones. I'm not saying that the ones that you're making are bad. I'm just saying that we can always be better in areas of our life. And emotions are one of the most challenging things to navigate our way through, because they're complicated. We are very good at avoiding, distracting, and isolating. And again, we quite often respond from the first thing that we think about, or the first thing that we say comes from that reaction, and we need to get better at that. So today is about emotional set points. So every single day of your life, you have about 60,000 thoughts on average. And out of these 60,000 thoughts, you make about 30,000 decisions. And these are the decisions that we make on autopilot. Shoes, brushing your teeth, driving to work the same way, having breakfast. A lot of things that you think about unconsciously. You just get it done. It doesn't take a lot of effort. But out of these 30,000 decisions, I wonder which ones we need to make more important to us. Speaking to our kids should be one of them. And how we speak to our kids, more importantly. Speaking to our partner and how we speak to our partner. How we speak to ourselves. These are conscious choices that are really important that you are making from a place of responding, not reacting. Because the things that you say do have impacts on people, and the things that you do have impacts on people. And also vice versa. The things that people say and do to you also make an impact on your life. And there is no perfect, as I said before, parenting textbook or how we do it perfectly. But this is all about being better, being more resourceful. Lots of people I meet and lots of parents I meet will say, I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough support, I don't have enough money, or I'm too busy at work. And we quite often look at resources. It's never a lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. We can all blame time, money, support, work, health, anything in life. It's easy to attach onto that. I'm not saying it's incorrect either. Maybe you're true, maybe it's right. But resourcefulness looks like, who do I need to become? Resourcefulness looks like, what skills do I need to develop? How can I become more self-aware? How can I become more emotionally intelligent? How can I understand what I'm doing more? And these things are all internal. And the more you work on them, the better you get. So I'm going to show you what we call emotional set points. And every single day of your life, you have about 12 emotions, or you feel about 12 emotions, I should say. There's no negative and there's no positive. They are just emotions. They are there to guide you and there to teach you something. What lessons that you need to take from the way that you're feeling is the most important. So why are you feeling angry at your partner? Why are you feeling angry at your kids? Why are you feeling frustrated? Is it because you don't believe you're being heard? Or is it believe you keep saying the same thing and no one's listening? You go a level deeper and then you start to realize why you're feeling these ways. And if you understand why, you can change it, because awareness precedes change. Please write this down. Awareness precedes change. So what I'm going to show you now is I want you to associate to the one emotion that you believe that you recognize most. 12 emotions a day and 8 of them are disempowering. But I'm going to bring them out now for you so you can have a quick look and tell me which one you think it is. Here we are. So you should be able to see what we call the emotional set points on your screen. These are them. So all the way down to hopelessness, all the way staying at boredom. So circle or write down on your piece of paper the emotion that you believe is coming up most right now towards your kids. So are they making you feel frustrated? Are you getting annoyed? Are you disappointed? Are you doubtful? Are you worried? Or are you feeling these ways towards yourself? Like, a lot of parents have mummy and daddy guilt. Are you having mummy and daddy guilt and then acting from that? And how you act matters. I remember when I fell out of a tree when I was younger. This is really important. I fell out of a tree and I hurt my arm. And my dad rushed out because I was crying and he was scared. He was worried about me. And then he realized I was okay and he came at me with such love and fear. Love that he didn't want me to be hurt, but fear that something may have happened to me. And then when he realized I was okay and I had a sore arm, because he was so scared, he sent me to my room for 2 hours and he told me off. He's like, why did you climb the tree? You're so silly. You're going to hurt yourself. And then because he loved me so much, he acted from fear and he acted from worry. So he put me in my bedroom for 2 hours because he was doing the best with what he knew how. And I know at times we're always doing the best with what we know how, but we can always change the way we're looking at things. And there's nothing that kids and children can't handle through the lens of love and compassion and empathy. We know this by all the studies around psychology, children's therapy, regardless of what's happening in their lives. If it's met with love, empathy, and compassion from their parents and the people around them, they can overcome most challenges because love is such a driver, how they deal with their mistakes, their letdowns, their worries, their anxieties. So much of this has come from how they are treated when they're going through these things. So have a look at the emotions that you may be feeling on a daily basis. And then I want you to list the behavior that you do when you're bored or the behavior when you're angry. When you're angry, do you snap and say the wrong thing to your partner or your kids? When you're annoyed, do you isolate and shut off and need to spend time by yourself? And remember, there's nothing wrong with these things, but we need to recognize the damage or the things that they're doing to other people that we care about. So boredom, for instance, maybe you are sitting there flicking the TV channel every single night and 30 minutes later you're still flicking the TV channel and you're bored. Some people when they're bored, they emotionally eat. Some people when they're bored, they scroll social media. Some people when they're bored, go for a run. But the thing is, what are you doing? And what we move to is this, because when we feel better, we take better action. I repeat that. When we feel better, we take better action. So on the right side, when we're feeling these things like playfulness, hopefulness, optimism, positive expectation, happiness, peace, joy, and unconditional love, we're a better communicator. We're better at being parents. We're better at being work colleagues. We're better at being partners. Everything in our life, we're better at dealing with our challenges in our life when we feel better. So look at this. So disempowering emotion and disempowering behavior. So I'm angry and I yell. Or I'm frustrated and I say something that I don't mean. I am bored and I eat the wrong things. I am worried and I transfer my worry onto my kids about the same thing I was worried about. Transferring is really important. If you are worried a lot, then we can easily transfer that worry to our children. If we are, frustrated a lot, we can easily turn that frustration and transfer that to our partners. It's called transferring for a reason. But the biggest thing that will cause you to transition is this. So please write this down. It's called ACT. Action Conditioning Therapy. So action conditioning healing. Think about when you've had a physical injury in your life. You've hurt something and then you rehabilitate it or you get rehab. Break your arm, sprain your ankle, hurt your knee, something in your life that you've done that's become a physical injury. We understand logically that we have to do some things to make the pain go away and minimize it happening again. so you can go on enjoying your life. Emotional injuries, we're very good at not ignoring. We're very good at putting aside. We're very good at, avoiding them. But emotional injuries we have every single day of our lives. Hurt, disappointment, frustration, being let down, being lied to. These things happen every single day, and we are very good at ignoring them and not going through them. So at the bottom of the section here, it says, what kind of disempowering emotions are you having that you can turn into a positive behavior? So maybe you're frustrated and you sit down with your kids and you explain why and you really articulate what's going on. Or maybe you're angry at your husband or you're angry at your wife and you sit down with them and you communicate what's going on. Or maybe, you're bored and you've been eating the wrong things, but maybe when you're bored now, you choose to drink more water and eat better things for you. Because everything in life is a big representation of how you show up. How you feel is so important about how you act. So if you're not feeling great about yourself, well, what choices could you make before you took the action to be able to deal with that situation? So I'm feeling angry at my partner. That's an easy one. I'm angry at my partner. And before I go have a conversation with him about what I'm angry about or her, what I'm angry about, maybe I need to go take 5 minutes. Maybe I need to have a bath. Maybe I need to go drink some water. Maybe I need to go do something to allow myself to calm down before I have these conversations. And I know this, easier said than done, of course, but emotions are skills. The more that you work on them, the better you get and the better outcomes that you want. I work with some of the biggest corporates in Australia, and this is the truth. People who control the emotion control the outcome. Your job as parents, as partners, as people is to work out how you can control your own emotional regulation to make better choices for better outcomes. So your homework for this week is recognize your disempowering emotions and your disempowering behavior. So what you don't like doing when you feel a certain way and what you think you could handle better, which is I'm feeling this way and I'm doing this and I think I could do better than what I'm doing right now. And then the next bit of homework is when you have a disempowering emotion, what is a more positive action that you can have instead? Boredom, I could drink more water. Frustration, I could have a really important conversation. Worried, I could work on why I'm worried. So some of this stuff may be internal. Maybe it's self-talk. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's looking at your health. Maybe it's understanding why you're frustrated or who you're frustrated at. These things matter. There's always a more powerful decision that we can make to ensure we get better outcomes. So this is your homework. Emotions that are disempowering into disempowering behavior. Emotions that are disempowering that turn into positive behavior. Because you can be unhappy with someone and still be kind. Someone can be nasty to you and you can still be nice. Someone can treat you poorly and you can still treat them with compassion. You always have a choice. Regardless if you believe that to be true or not, you always do. And if you understand these things better, remember, awareness precedes change. So I hope you enjoyed week 6, is homework pillar. If you have any questions, please reach out to Jel or myself. You have your PDF in your email. And really think about this. Emotions are power. They have the power to create or the power to destroy. They can destroy families and relationships, and they can create beautiful families and create incredible relationships. But it's how we choose to apply them. And think about Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. Emotional mastery is about working on these things every single day. Cannot wait to see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this week's webinar, and I'll see you very soon.